Okay, let's unpack this. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. This is where we dig into a pile of specialized sources on one specific, usually pretty fascinating topic, and basically pull out the core knowledge you need.
Get you up to speed quickly.
Exactly. And today, we are definitely strapping in for, well, let's call it a high-stakes adventure. We're diving deep into Asia's newest frontier, Timor-Leste. It's a place so off the beaten path, it sometimes feels like the maps are still catching up.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, we're talking about East Timor, the eastern half of this really rugged island down in the Timor Sea. And it's remarkable, it's one of the world's youngest countries, fully independent, quite recently.
And one of the least visited.
Definitely one of the least visited. But it holds this amazing mix of just staggering natural beauty, a history that's all about resilience, and this is key for a lot of people, some of the most concentrated, incredible marine biodiversity you'll find anywhere on Earth.
Right. And the sources we gathered for this, they all agree on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't your standard kick back and relax vacation. A trip here is demanding. It takes serious planning, a lot of patience, and frankly, it often costs more than you might expect for Southeast Asia.
Yeah, not necessarily more for luxury, but more for the basics, for the logistics. It's not like hopping over to Thailand or Vietnam.
Which brings us right to the core question, the mission for this deep dive. We have to ask and really answer. Given all that effort, the planning, the cost, is the raw, kind of off-the-grid adventure you get in Timor-Leste actually worth that challenge?
Is the juice worth the squeeze, essentially? That's what we need to figure out.
Exactly. So we're going to walk you through it. We'll cover the tricky logistics of just getting around the place, what you should realistically expect for accommodation, the food scene, which is pretty unique, and then, obviously, the highlights. The absolute must-dos.
Yeah, we're talking world-class marine life, those really powerful historical sites that tell you so much about the country, and even climbing some pretty serious mountain peaks.
So if you're the kind of traveler who seeks out frontiers, who maybe thinks, the harder it is, the more authentic it feels.
Or if you just want to see a place that's still genuinely finding its feet, still raw.
Then this conversation is definitely for you. Let's get started. Phase 1, right? The logistics.
The logistics barrier, yeah. Earning your arrival, as you put it.
Okay, so how do we even get there? You mentioned it's not straightforward.
No, not if you're coming from, say, Europe or the Americas. It's going to be multiple flights. There are no direct long-haul options. Your main gateways, the places you'll likely fly from for the final leg, are Denpasar in Bali, Indonesia.
Okay, that's common enough.
Yeah, or Darwin in Australia.
Yeah.
The actual flight into Timor-Leste, into the capital, Dili, is pretty short from there, like maybe an hour and a half from Bali.
Okay, that final leg is short. And I was actually surprised our sources said that once you land in Dili at the Presidente Niccolo Lobato Airport, the visa process is surprisingly simple.
Yeah, that's one of the few easy parts. For most nationalities, it's just a standard visa on arrival. You need your passport, obviously, proof you're leaving eventually.
An onward ticket.
Right. And a fee paid in U.S. dollars, which, by the way, is a huge. Plus, the U.S. dollar is the main currency used everywhere. Makes things much simpler.
No fiddling with money changers constantly. Okay, so arrival is okay, but then...
Then the real Timor-Leste experience begins. The moment you think about leaving Dili, the complexity ramps up significantly.
Right. This is where the logistical crunch hits. Our sources are crystal clear. If you want to really see the country, go into the mountains, explore the south coast, you need a 4x4.
Yeah.
Not a suggestion. It's basically mandatory.
Absolutely non-negotiable. And this is where the sticker shock can hit people used to cheap scooter rentals elsewhere in Asia. Renting a reliable, tough 4x4 in Dili is expensive.
How expensive are we talking?
Well, our notes consistently showed figures upwards of, say, $100 to $150 US per day.
Per day? Wow.
Per day. And that's before fuel. Fuel costs are also higher than you might find in, like, Indonesia or Thailand.
Okay, hang on. $150 a day. Compared to, I don't know, $5 for a scooter in Vietnam, that seems astronomical. Why is it so incredibly high for what sounds like just a rugged vehicle?
It's high because the roads absolutely punish vehicles. That price reflects the sheer wear and tear, the constant maintenance needed, the difficulty of getting spare parts, especially outside Dili. You're essentially paying for the high risk of breakdown.
So we're not just talking bumpy dirt roads here.
Oh no, we're talking deep river crossings where you might need low gear, steep, rocky climbs, sections of road that are just gone, washed away. You might have to find your own way around.
The sources mentioned potholes that weren't just potholes, but like craters, big enough to swallow a wheel. Landslides blocking routes.
Exactly. It's serious off-road stuff, which leads to a really important warning about self-driving.
Right. Who should actually attempt this?
Honestly, only people with genuine expert-level off-road driving experience and, crucially, some mechanical know-how. Because if you break down, say, 50 kilometers from the nearest town in the mountains,
You're on your own for a while.
pretty much. There's no quick roadside assistance coming. You need to be able to assess the situation, maybe do a temporary fix until help can be arranged.
Okay, that makes the alternative sound much more appealing for most people,
Yeah.
which is hiring a local driver who owns their own 4x4.
Yes. It might seem more expensive up front than just the rental fee, but what you're buying is invaluable.
Local knowledge, right?
Local knowledge is huge. They know which river is fordable today, which road is blocked. They act as a translator. They know how to handle breakdowns because they have contacts everywhere. It turns a potential nightmare into, well, still an adventure, but a managed one.
It's an investment in actually enjoying the trip, not
Yeah.
just surviving the driving.
Totally. Safety, sanity, and you get cultural insights too.
Okay, and this ties into a crucial planning tip that came up repeatedly. If you're mapping out a route, say Google Maps tells you a 100-kilometer stretch will take, I don't know, 2 hours?
Forget it.
Triple it. Is that the rule?
It's triple it, seriously.
Yeah.
That 100 kilometers might look straightforward on the map, but in reality, half of it could be under slow construction. Then maybe there's a small landslide that villagers are clearing, which takes half an hour. Then you've got 2 river crossings that require careful navigation.
So that 2-hour drive easily becomes 6, 7, 8 hours.
Easily.
Yeah.
The journey is the pace. Distance is almost meaningless. Timor-Leste forces you to slow right down, accept the conditions, and ditch any idea of a tight schedule.
That's a really important mental shift. You're not just getting somewhere. You're on a mini expedition every time you set off.
Exactly. And weirdly, that forced slowing down, it makes you look around more, interact more. The difficulty actually becomes part of the engagement.
Right. Okay, phase 2 then. We've battled the roads, we've arrived somewhere. Now we need somewhere to sleep and something to eat. Let's talk sustenance and shelter. And managing expectations is key here, isn't it?
Absolutely. Let's start with Dili, the capital. That's where you'll find the most, let's say, conventional comfort. There are backpacker guest houses, maybe $25 to $40 a night range.
Okay.
And then proper hotels, like the Timor Plaza or Hotel Dili. Those are more in the $100 to $200 a night bracket.
But the key thing for someone coming from, say, Thailand or Bali, the value proposition is different.
Very different. You generally pay more for a lower standard than you'd get for the same money in those highly developed tourist hubs. The infrastructure is still developing. Everything from reliable electricity to imported toiletries costs more to provide.
So adjust your expectations on value for money.
Definitely. But the real character, the authentic experience, that comes when you leave Dili. Comfort generally goes down, but the experience factor goes way up.
Let's talk about Toro Island first. The accommodation there sounds amazing in its own way.
Yeah, a Toro special, you find these simple, often beautiful beachfront bungalows. Many are run directly by the local communities.
So they're eco-lodges, basically.
Pretty much. They're basic, don't get me wrong. Clean room, maybe a fan, mosquito net. But they're safe, right on the sand, and your money goes straight into the village economy. That feels really good.
And you're literally steps away from potentially the best snorkeling in the world.
Literally steps. Okay, then inland, up in the mountains, towns like Malbis, what do we find there?
There you might stumble upon old Portuguese guest houses called pousadas. They're fascinating bits of history.
Faded colonial charm. Yeah, exactly. Think thick walls, maybe old tiled floors, verandas. But that charm comes with mountain reality, which often means cold water showers.
Especially since it gets genuinely chilly up there at night.
Right. So pack layers and brace yourself for the shower. It's part of the adventure.
And booking these places outside Dili, it's not like hopping on booking.com.
Oh, definitely not. Online booking is very rare. Accommodation is limited anyway. You absolutely have to call ahead.
Which can be tricky if you don't speak Pedum.
Exactly. Which is another huge advantage of having that local driver. They can call, check availability, maybe negotiate a little, secure that one room that's left. You often rely on local connections just to find a bed.
Okay. Rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Embrace basic, know your money's doing good, and plan lodging way ahead, probably with local help.
Yep.
All right, let's talk food. The sources paint a picture of something simple, fresh, very coastal, but with some interesting influences.
Yeah. The base, like most of Asia, is rice. Rice with pretty much everything. But the real star, especially near the coast, is fish. Incredibly fresh grilled fish. Tuna, snapper, grouper, probably caught that morning.
And there's one dish that everyone says you have to try. Ikan sabuko.
Oh, yes, that's the one. It's not just grilled fish. They slather it in this amazing paste. It's tangy, spicy, smoky.
It's in the paste.
Tamarind is key for that tanginess. Then garlic, chili, onions. It's complex but perfectly balanced, served with rice and usually a very fiery chili sauce, sambal on the side. That smoky, tangy, spicy combo is just defines the coastal food.
Okay, mouth is watering already. But Dili offers more variety.
Yeah, Dili's different. Because of the long UN and NGO presence, you actually find decent international food, Thai, Indian, Italian. It's a bit of a haven if you need a break from fish and rice.
And the Portuguese influence is strong there too, right? Not just historically, but in the food.
Definitely. Particularly in bakeries. Our sources raved about the Portuguese tarts, the pastéis de nata. Apparently the ones in Dili are genuinely world-class, like Lisbon quality.
Wow, a little taste of Portugal and the Timor Sea. That's unexpected.
It is. But once you leave Dili again, the food scene goes back to basics pretty quickly. You'll be eating at roadside stalls, warangs.
What do they typically serve?
Grilled fish, grilled chicken mostly. Sometimes you find stews, maybe feijoada, that Portuguese bean and meat stew. It's hearty, simple food, fuel for the road.
And a really important safety tip for eating roadside.
Stick to busy places, always. High turnover means fresh ingredients, much lower risk of getting sick, and, it bears repeating, only drink bottled or properly purified water. Getting a stomach bug out here would be seriously disruptive.
Absolutely critical. Okay, but amidst all this basic food, there's a hidden gem, a liquid treasure.
Ah, yes. Timorese coffee.
I was genuinely amazed reading about this. Why is it considered so good, and why is it such a secret?
It's kind of the perfect storm of quality and ethics. It's mostly Arabica, grown high up in the mountains, usually organically. The key thing is its profile. It's known for being incredibly smooth, very low acid.
Easy on the stomach, then.
Exactly, but still rich and complex in flavor. And a lot of it is grown by small farmer cooperatives, so visiting a co-op is highly recommended.
The experience itself sounds amazing.
Oh, yeah. Sipping this perfect cup of coffee, freshly roasted, in the cool mountain air, knowing it's supporting the local community directly. It's a really nice moment of calm amidst the travel chaos.
A moment of peace. Okay, that makes sense. Right, so we've covered the tough logistics, the basic needs. Now the payoff. Phase 3. The untouched rewards. This is why you put up with the $150 4x4s and the cool showers.
We have to start with the environment, specifically the marine life. For many experienced travelers, this is the #1 reason to go. And it's largely centered around Atoro Island.
Which is a short hop from Dili.
Relatively short, yeah. Ferry or water taxi can still be a bit rough sometimes, but manageable.
And the claims about Atoro's reefs, they're not just impressive, they're world-beating, right?
Absolutely staggering. That 2016 study by Conservation International, they surveyed the reefs and found that Atoro had the highest diversity of reef fish species anywhere in the world.
Highest diversity.
In the whole world.
In the whole world. They
Yeah.
literally called it the ocean species factory.
Wow. How? Why there? It's fascinating science. Atoro is in the Coral Triangle, which is already rich. But its specific location, right next to these incredibly deep ocean trenches in the Timor Sea, creates unique currents and upwelling. It brings nutrients and also seems to isolate populations just enough to drive really rapid speciation, basically the evolution of new species.
So its unique geography protected it and made it hyperdiverse.
That seems to be the theory, and the diving or snorkeling experience reflects that. The water clarity is often phenomenal, the corals are pristine because there's been so little tourism pressure, and good local management.
What kind of things do you see?
Everything. Clouds of colorful reef fish, obviously, but also lots of rare nudibranchs. Big turtles are common, reef sharks, and because of those deep trenches nearby, sometimes bigger pelagic species pass through. You can see huge schools of fish right from the beach sometimes.
It sounds unreal. Many sources basically said Atoro alone justifies the entire cost and effort of the trip.
I can totally see why it's that special. Okay, back on the mainland. The other huge reward is understanding the country's history and resilience.
Which means visiting some key sites in Dili.
Absolutely essential. You really need to visit the Chega exhibition and the Timorese Resistance Museum.
These sound like heavy experiences.
They are deeply powerful and, yes, somber. They cover the 24-year Indonesian occupation, which happened right after the Portuguese left, and the incredibly tough fight for independence. So many lives lost. Chega means stop or enough in Portuguese.
Right.
It details the human rights abuses, but also the reconciliation process afterwards. It's tough, but you have to understand this recent history.
Why is it so critical for traveler to engage with that?
Because it explains everything about the national character today. The resilience, the pride, the incredible optimism you feel. That's all forged in that struggle. Without understanding the trauma, you might just see the surface poverty. With it, you see the incredible strength of people rebuilding their nation.
That makes sense. And there's a major landmark in Dili that combines history with views.
Yeah, the Cristo Rey statue, the big Christ statue on the hill overlooking the bay. You have to climb up.
What's the story there?
Well, ironically, it was actually a gift from Indonesia back in '96, supposedly to mark 20 years of Indonesian rule. But since independence, the Timorese have completely reclaimed it. It's their symbol now, a place for reflection. And the views,
Stunning, I bet.
especially at sunset. The whole bay just lights up. It's spectacular.
Okay, from the capital, let's go high. Up into the mountains for something completely different. Mount Romelo.
Ah, Romelo, yes. The highest peak in Timor-Leste. And it's a major pilgrimage site, too.
This sounds like another serious undertaking.
It is. Logistically, you need to get driven to a village at the base, usually arrive late afternoon. You try to get a few hours sleep. Then you start climbing around 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
Yeah, with a local guide. It's cold, it's dark, it's steep. The altitude makes it tough. You need proper gear.
But the reward,
Yeah,
it's timed perfectly, isn't it?
perfectly. You reach the summit. There's a statue of the Virgin Mary up there right as the sun comes up. Often you're above the clouds. You see the sunrise over the entire country spreading out below you. It's described as just, profound, almost spiritual. Makes the 2 a.m. start totally worthwhile, more than just ticking off a peak.
Okay, one more major attraction for the truly adventurous. The far, far east, Jocko Island.
Jocko, yeah, this is ultimate frontier stuff.
Yeah.
Getting there requires a serious multi-day commitment on those rough eastern roads. Really test the vehicle, the driver, your patience.
But if you make it,
If you make it to the very eastern tip of the main island, Jocko itself is this small, uninhabited island just offshore.
uninhabited.
Completely. And it's just perfect. Pristine white sand, that classic turquoise water, incredibly clear. Just total peace.
And there's a cultural aspect, too.
Very important. Locals consider Jocko sacred, which means two things. One, it's very well protected ecologically. Two, you absolutely cannot stay overnight. It's forbidden, out of respect.
How do you get across?
Part of the charm. You find a local fisherman, pay them a few dollars, and they ferry you across the narrow channel in their boat. And for those few hours, you're there.
You feel like the only person on Earth.
Pretty much. That rare feeling of being completely alone on a perfect, untouched tropical island, no development, nothing. It's the antidote to overcrowded beaches.
It sounds like the difficulty of getting there is what keeps it that way.
Exactly. The journey is the filter. Only the truly committed and respectful get to see it.
Which brings us neatly to phase 4, the mindset shift. We know it's hard, we know the rewards are huge, but what mental prep does someone need? This feels crucial.
It's arguably the most important preparation, first things first. You have to completely ditch the standard Southeast Asia tourist mindset. Forget it.
Meaning?
Don't arrive expecting cheap $5 massages on every corner or backpacker parties or fancy resorts with infinity pools. Timor-Leste just doesn't have that infrastructure. It doesn't have the volume of tourists. And honestly, that's a huge part of its appeal. Keeps it real.
Okay. And what about planning?
Skip the packed, rigid itinerary. If you try to stick to a minute-by-minute schedule, you will just get incredibly stressed out.
I guess things go wrong.
Things will go wrong. Or not wrong, just happen. Flat tires happen. Roads get washed out. Ferries run late. Power cuts out. You absolutely must build buffer days into your plan, except that the country sets the pace, not your spreadsheet.
Got it. Be flexible. And the driving.
Just to hammer it home, unless you are genuinely expert-level off-road and mechanically skilled, skip self-driving. Budget for the local driver. It changes the whole experience from high-stress survival to, like, a guided exploration.
Right. And the overall attitude needed.
Embrace the unpredictability. And crucially, do it with humor. You just can't get annoyed about the basic stuff.
Like the cold shower in the mountains.
Exactly. Or the power going out during dinner, or the bus being 2 hours late. You just have to shrug, maybe laugh about it, see it as part of the story, part of the experience. Complaining achieves nothing and just sours your own trip. That ability to roll with it is key.
And that connects to the people, the vibe you get there.
Absolutely. The overwhelming feeling people report is one of resilience, real warmth, incredible national pride, and this this forward-looking optimism, even after everything they've been through so recently.
It's not a place defined by victimhood.
Not at all. It's defined by strength. And people are generally curious and welcoming to visitors, especially kids. You'll hear kids shouting, Malay!
Which means?
Foreigner. But it's shouted with excitement like, look, a foreigner. Not aggressively. It's usually quite heartwarming.
And our sources emphasized there isn't really a begging culture.
No, not like you might see in some heavily touristed areas. There's a real sense of dignity. People see you as a guest, maybe an explorer, not just a walking wallet.
So how can travelers bridge the gap?
Learn a few basic words of Tidam. It makes a huge difference. Just bon dia for good morning, obrigado for thank you for my male, obrigada if you're female. Simple things show respect and interest.
Turns a transaction into an interaction.
Instantly, it shows you're trying. And the overall feeling of the country is just raw, unfiltered, wild in a good way. You feel like you're genuinely exploring, not consuming something prepackaged.
You're seeing a nation finding its way post-conflict, building itself up.
Yeah, and it feels like a real privilege to witness that stage, you know, before mass tourism potentially changes things down the line.
Okay, so we've laid it all out. The intense logistics, the basic realities, the absolutely world-class rewards, the mindset needed. Let's get to the verdict.
The verdict is pretty clear, I think. Timor-Leste is emphatically not for everyone. If your travel priorities are comfort, ease, predictability,
If you need everything to run like clockwork.
you will likely be frustrated, genuinely, maybe choose somewhere else. It's not a judgment, just a reality check.
For the real adventurer, the serious diver, the cultural explorer who actively seeks out authenticity, the person willing to embrace challenge as part of the reward.
For that person, it's a resounding 100% yes. Go.
Unequivocal.
Absolutely. The challenges and the rewards are two sides of the same coin here, because it's hard to get to, hard to get around. What you find feels incredibly special. Atura's reefs, that sunrise on Remelo, connecting with the people, it's profound stuff.
It gets under your skin, as they say.
It really does. You don't just do Timor-Leste, you earn it. And that effort, that investment, makes the memories incredibly powerful. It sticks with you.
It sounds like one of those truly life-shaping travel experiences.
We're the right person, definitely. So, okay, that leaves us with our final provocative thought, something for you, the listener, to mull over.
Right. We've established that Timor-Leste makes you work, makes you earn your experiences. So the question is, what does it actually mean for a destination or an experience to feel truly earned? Does putting in that extra effort, facing those challenges, inherently make the memory more valuable, more resonant, maybe even more meaningful than experiencing something beautiful that was just easily accessible or passively consumed?
Does the struggle add value? Something to think about.